And joining me now, we have our friend Tim Miller, MSNBC political analyst and host of the Bulwark podcast. Tim, is that what the Democrats should be focusing on right now? Less the illegality, the abuse of power, and more just the cruelty and rash nature of these cuts. Are they effectively getting their message out to Americans?
Yeah, well, I think they need to do all of it, and you could always use more. I think probably the most effective thing to do is to talk about the human cost of this, right? Like the real stories of veterans who are losing their job indiscriminately, people that are losing, people that really need it, that are losing access to government services, getting rid of Social Security offices around the country that people call into when they have problems getting their checks, right? Like, I think focusing on these real world examples is probably the best. But to be honest, Alex, we are 19, 20 months away from the midterm elections. I think that the Democrats really shouldn't be totally preoccupied with what is the best possible political message right now and be focused more on just creating as much noise as possible about the damage that is being wrought by Elon Musk's, as you mentioned, illegal actions as an unelected autocrat.
You are exactly echoing the sentiments of another analyst I had on in the last hour who said the same thing. Trump, though, is going after law firms that represented his political enemies. This week, he signed an executive order hitting the firm that represented Hillary Clinton's campaign in the DNC in 2016. He also went after the firm representing special counsel Jack Smith. Is retribution his priority? And if so, Tim, will issues like the economy and cost of living, are they going to suffer from a lack of focus?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this story up because this is one of those examples. This is just a shocking abuse of power. Obviously, D.C. law firms are not going to be the most sympathetic victims here of Donald Trump and like the most effective, people to put forth during a political campaign. But that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a focus on it. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous that a law firm would be targeted by the federal government for doing its job, which is, defending clients. The ripple effects of this are real. The other thing is there are only certain number of law firms. I know it feels like there are a lot of lawyers in D.C., and there are, but there really are only a certain number of law firms that can take on especially sensitive cases, right? And so if the federal government continues to go after, people on Jack Smith's team, go after people from the Mueller investigation, et cetera, it's going to be hard for them to find counsel that has the experience, et cetera, to be able to represent them if Trump's going after these law firms. So I think it's a major story. And yes, I also do think that it's distracting the administration from what would probably be a more prudent use of their time on the economy.
And let me remind our viewers that Trump was asked in a debate if he will seek retribution against his political enemies. And he said, quote, "My retribution is going to be my success." Is that what we've seen so far? Or has it been a lot of retribution?
No, we've seen mostly him focusing on retribution and, culture wars and advancing kind of the silly agenda items of changing the names of bodies of water, et cetera. I look at the economy. I, from the start, was deeply skeptical of Trump's economic agenda. I think it was undercovered during the campaign. I think it was very obvious that it was going to be disruptive to the country and probably inflationary. But even I am shocked that, like 6 weeks in, the damage that has been done to, the loss of jobs, as we mentioned, from federal government workers, but then the ripple effects of the people in those communities that are going to be harmed. And then on top of that, we've seen the stock market crashing, consumer confidence is way down, the Fed's estimates for our GDP growth is way down. There are real storm clouds on the horizon. I know it's felt longer, but he's only been in there 6 weeks. It's been really kind of an astonishing, amount of economic failure already from the first month and a half of his presidency.
So the New York Times has a new report on those who used to speak out against Trump but are now silent, fearing retribution from Trump and Musk. One prominent first-term critic of Trump said he wouldn't comment on the record and, in fact, didn't want to be mentioned in this article at all. Is the administration, is this one better at intimidation than it was in the first Trump term? And if so, how and why?
I think people assess that the people around Trump are more willing to go after foes. I think that there was a sense during the first term that Trump might tweet at you and that might cause harm to you. You might get bullied by people on the internet. There might be death threats against you. But, a lot of the folks that were in the agencies weren't really going to use their power to go after people. There were some exceptions. This time, it feels like the entire administration is on board with the retribution agenda, from the DOJ to Kash Patel's FBI. And I think that does have a lot of people scared. I will say this, though. I don't really like the pre-surrender at all. I don't like that this narrative is out there. They haven't really successfully targeted anybody yet. This is not Putin's Russia yet. People still have due process. This guy that is the district attorney, Ed Martin, who's been, sending off letters to people. He sent off a letter to congressmen who said, "I don't care what you say." He sent out a letter to Georgetown. Georgetown said, "No, I'm not going to follow it." He tried to get somebody, a grand jury together. I forget who it was that he was targeting. And the grand jury said, "No, you don't have evidence to prosecute this person." So, for them to actually go after you, there are still rules. There's still the rule of law in this country. And I think it's unfortunate that people are backing down, before the fight has even really begun.
So quickly, Tim, to what extent do you think the courts are providing a check on his power, and will that last?
Some. I look, and we've seen people are very upset at Justice Barrett right now on the MAGA right about her ruling regarding the USAID funds that had to be paid out. And we've obviously seen some district
funds
courts
that were already
that have done
spent,
so.
by the way.
Yeah, right, sure. I mean, it was a cut and dry case. It's kind of crazy. It was only 5-4, but even still, so far so good on checks from the courts. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay, we'll have you back soon, my friend. Thank you, Tim Miller.
Thanks, Alex.